I'm becoming the person that I've known I could be. And what that means is that I had a lot of different people, direct family members, like speak very ill of me in my life. So I use that as fuel to propel me to on this journey, and then just to become the person I know I'm meant to be.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Onsite podcast. Today we have my good friend Dustin Cook, one of the first contractors that joined our community. It's been almost, I don't know. It's been a while, but Dustin's got a great story. He's been a contractor for over a decade, I believe, and I'm super excited to dive into this with you today, Dustin. Dustin, thank you first off so much for joining us today. First off, can you tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. Yeah, so I recently moved to Alberta about 6 weeks ago. So originally from Ontario, but I own Cook's Contracting and BuildCo, and we specialize in basement renovations, something different called garage suites out here compared to like tiny homes back in Ontario. And then we're hoping to build a couple houses in the next year to 2 years.
Nice, man. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with the fact that you moved from, Ontario to Red Deer, but a lot of people here have no idea. And to give people some perspective of what that looks like, Dustin moved his entire family from one side of the earth to the other, essentially, in a truck with a camper, and did it the way, with a lot of uncertainty and a lot of stress, pain, and misery. But I'm going to let you share that story about that journey from Ontario, because you're born and raised in Ontario. Your family was born and raised in Ontario, made the decision to move to Alberta, picked Red Deer as your place. And, what was that journey like?
Yeah, so my wife
It's a lot.
picked, that's a loaded question. I'll try and give a good description, but like cliff notes. So last year around, or I guess like in the spring of last year, my wife was like looking up some places to move to potentially, and we talked about the West, and she just kind of picked Red Deer on the map, and we came and checked it out. We didn't tell anybody, we didn't post about it or anything, and we really love the people out here, the values, the family orientedness of Red Deer. It's over 100,000 people, so it's large, but it's also small enough to know people. And then we just kind of set the plans in motion. I was grinding it out in Ontario for what seemed like nothing really in terms of in business, and then I started working with you, and we dramatically shifted some things with the company and got a really large job to that helped push us out here in terms of finances and that. So that was really helpful. You and I worked through a few things with that large job, so grateful for that. And then we just found a camper on Marketplace and got a really good deal. We renovated it, made it our own, and then we just had been packing for a while, and that last job was ending. There was so many different pieces that needed to be cohesive and yet still make connections with good contractors there, so I could pass off some of the work and get some referral fees with that, which I'm grateful for them to be able to do that for me. And then we just got movers. It was within our budget. Realistically, to move and pay movers just under $6,000 to move across the country was pretty good. The whole journey was crazy. We left at 6:00 on a Monday because we just had all the extra crap that you just forget you have, and okay, we're just gonna leave this all here, and we just loaded up. Went out to Perry Sound. Just parked in the parking lot, stayed there first night, and then we drove to Sault Ste. Marie the next day, and we made a trip out of it. It was really awesome to go through places where we both kind of had, my wife and I both had some hard moments in life, and we just had some major breakthroughs in terms of feeling released from that garbage. It was really helpful, and we stayed at a provincial park called Pancake Bay. It was beautiful, nice and relaxing for, I think we stayed there for 2 days. And then we made it to Thunder Bay. We went to an amethyst mine with our two boys and smashed apart some rocks and found some really cool amethysts. And then there was forest fires, so we couldn't really use the camper anymore. So essentially, it was a storage trailer, and we stayed in hotels the rest of the way out to Alberta. We stopped at some pretty cool places along the way, like Kakaveka Falls and Thunder Bay, the second largest waterfall in Ontario. In Manitoba, we're like, what do we do in Manitoba? It's not really much there. And we went to a reptile museum where they take reptiles to all big Hollywood movies and stuff. So that was pretty neat. Saskatchewan, we went to Moose Jaw, saw the big moose. And Mac the Moose, I think his name is.
Yeah,
And
something like that.
yeah, and yeah, Saskatchewan was the worst in terms of mileage. I got like 300K to a tank of fuel in my truck.
I think it was windy though that day.
It was insanely windy. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
insanely windy. And I mean, I had not the most aerodynamic rig, so it
Right.
definitely cut into the wind. Yeah,
So
and
what
we
was the
made
total kilometers from Ontario to Red Deer? Or
uh,
miles, kilometers?
yeah, I was doing some like minor touring around and stuff. My wife's van was more accurate than the truck. It was like 4,500 kilometers.
Oh, you had
Um,
two vehicles too.
oh yeah, yeah. We had the truck, and I was pulling the camper, and then I had our cats in the truck with me, and then my wife had the two kids. So like, she had the hardest job by
Oh,
far.
I bet. I
Yeah,
bet. You just had to pull a trailer. Your wife had to deal with the kids and all their different emotions. Here, watch this show. Oh, I could just imagine.
yeah.
I thought you guys were all in the same vehicle, actually. I didn't know that.
No,
Okay. All right. So you learn. So over 3,000 kilometers, you said it was?
like with driving around and stuff, it came to like 4,500K, but
40.
like cross country would be about 3,500. So we put on an extra 1,000 just doing adventures and stuff
Right.
because we only plan on doing that once, unless the kids
Yeah.
are older and we're doing a trip or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah. Tour back or something like that. Well,
yeah,
that's cool, man. Well, I'm happy for you. I know it was a journey for sure. I was there chatting with you along the way, and what an experience. I don't think a lot of people really understand, how challenging it would be to move your family from one side of the earth to the other, and your business
yeah,
for that matter. And so the podcast is about on-site, and so you left a job, a larger job that was great for revenue, but a bit of a pain in the ass. Client was a little bit, unique to deal with. Got
yeah.
through that, got paid, and then continued on and needed to find some new opportunities in Red Deer. So tell us a little bit about that, like that experience. You land in Red Deer, you got to find a house, you got to find a job, like everything, like depending on the type of person you are, everything's like, okay, I got 50 things that are all 911 emergencies,
Yeah, yeah.
essentially, on day
It would,
one.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. Like we stayed in Drumheller for a night and stuff, and then we like because we just wanted a short drive to Red Deer, which was
Hmm.
like 2 hours. But drove to Red Deer. I was gonna book a hotel, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't have pets here." We're like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" So then I called a hotel up the road. It was I was like midweek, so like things were booking up. Like kids all have their sports events and stuff, so we're kind of strapped to find a hotel. Found a hotel. They were really awesome. The receptionist actually was from Ontario, so she recommended us some things to do, some places to check out. But yeah, like you helped me with my Instagram account, having a presence here before we got here and having that plan. I'm very grateful for that. And to just, yeah, implement the strategies that we talked about in terms of get here, we landed, we took like a day or two break from all the caffeine that we had. And and yeah, the kids played in the pool, and it was kind of just like, all right, let's like chill because our bodies are overloaded and
Hmm.
overwhelmed. But I think the first night I was like, okay, here's some properties we can go check out. So I was just like booking stuff and like, okay, I gotta go do this. Well, I went to a networking event like not even a week here. I think I went to two. I went to a garage suite showing and then a real estate investors meeting where I met some good realtors as well to connect with. I went and did my first estimate. So I was having a conversation with the client on the road at hotel stops and stuff to be like, okay, like these are some steps. Here's some, when could we come look at it? And within the first week, I went in there and did two estimates And yeah, we found the house within 10 days, the rental house, got everything set up. Movers came one day, Brandon, we spent like 13 grand.
Oh
It
yeah.
was like, it was really devastating, but it was also like, we planned for it. It was
Hmm.
like, here's first and last, like rent. Here's 6 grand to the movers. Here's a bunch of furniture that, because we left all our, like our couch
Yeah.
and kitchen table and all that stuff because we didn't need it. So yeah. And yeah, there was a lot of change, a lot of rapid implementation of getting things done. But, within 30 days, I have 4 or 5 estimates out, landed our first job, which felt awesome. And then this person's super connected to a lot of people in the area. So, we're going to do a phenomenal job for her and her family. And then just kind of red deer's the oyster to go from there.
Right. To blend off of that for sure. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. I mean, there's for sure a lot of, pressure inside of that
Yeah.
move for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand. It's just not that, like, it's not that simple to move your family across. Like, you got 2 kids, you got animals, you got no belongings, you got no, understanding of the territory, maybe a light amount. And, you're looking at maps and you're trying to figure this all out online. Like, thankfully, we've got the internet and we've got, all these other tools out there that help us kind of prepare for this. But one of the things that I think most people don't understand is like, there's a lot of big wins inside of that, like a lot of
Yeah.
personal development wins within there, confidence boosters. And most people struggle to kind of take those moments and be like, holy shit, like, look what we just did,
Yeah.
and I recognize the things that you were going through, that anyone would go through for that matter. But what would you say, like, would be the biggest personal development win from this journey from there to now?
From there to now, I think so. 2 major wins would be the relationship with my wife and I strengthened so much, and like we were very much a team. Not that we weren't before, but it just really magnified that. Like, I was like, okay, like we just were on the same page. We needed to communicate very well to get things done and to be the best stressed out parents that we could on the trip. Like I said, my wife had the hardest job. She was looking after a 2.5-year-old and a 5.5-year-old, driving in Northern Ontario, like down and around curves, and like they're screaming and yelling. And, those are things that aren't talked about on like, oh yeah, we traveled across the country, but like there was yelling, there was screaming, there was a lot of frustration. And like, and then the wildfires threw us into like, okay, well, we didn't plan to like stay in hotels the rest of the trip, but like we, paid off some credit cards and stuff before we left. So like that was available for us. So yeah, number one is the relationship with my wife definitely grew leaps and bounds. And then for myself would be that I'm becoming the person that I've known I could be. And what that means is that I had a lot of different people, direct family members, like speak very ill of me in my life. So I use that as fuel to propel me to on this journey, and then just to become the person I know I'm meant to be. And so yeah, when you had Eric Klein come on, I don't know, a few months ago onto Contractor Connect, that I asked him a question about that extra gear, like that you have that you can't really get to yet. So that extra gear is what all that fuel of all the stuff that people spoke about me, I use to find that extra gear. And now
Mm,
I feel like there's another one that I can get to at some point. But
right.
yeah,
Like a different level.
yeah, yeah, not being
Hmm.
scared, not being, I mean, there's moments, but it's not overwhelming or like flooding. So
Yeah. Well, and that's being a general contractor, I mean, you're going to know this too, but like our thing is we solve problems. That's our deal. Right. And you have to be, if you're a really good general contractor, you're really good at solving problems. You're really good at moving forward. And so when shit comes up along the way, you have no choice but to go through that next door. Or that next level. And, there are people that have doubted me. There's people that are doubting you. There's people that doubt everyone. I think that is a place of motivation, where you got to kind of ram it in their face and be like, hey, look what we did here. But at the same time, it's like, I really love using the like the self success, you know, like where you recognize your individual win. Like it might be small, it could be freaking small. Like, you know, like on a job site, let's say that, you know, you budgeted something and the budget came in accurate with where you proposed it to be, and you made some cash. You know, that could be a win. I mean, that should happen all the time, right? But it doesn't. But like those little tiny things are like, okay, cool. Like I did that. You know what I mean? I got through this phase in my journey, and I'm able to level up and climb that ladder. And so I think, like, personally, I like using the wins that are self created almost to fuel myself. I find that whenever I've used the negativity that others put on me, I find that my drive comes from a place that is almost a bit vindictive. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I want to show you.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like, I find that my results are greater when I've celebrated myself, and I've used my celebration to push myself through that next door. I mean, there's still freaking scary moments in, you know, even in this business, but you know, we don't like, this podcast is free. I don't make any money here. We don't have any sponsors. I'm not Joe Rogan by any means, you know, and so there's going to be days for all of us that we got to climb through those doors. So, I mean, I congratulate you daily about the journey from moving from Ontario to Red Deer, because I know how hard that would be, because I have two kids. You know, I've got some animals, and I didn't know that you were doing two vehicles, but like, that'd be fucking hard. You know, that'd be really hard, especially, you know, starting a business again. Cause when we first were talking about you going there, you're like, yeah, I'm just going to go work for someone. And I was like, dude, you're not built to work for, I mean, you could probably get it done, but like, you're talented enough to like run your business again. You just gotta get the confidence in place that the job will come. Somebody will hire you because you're good at what you do. And as long as you've got that confidence, you throw it into the space, you make enough connections, somebody's going to bite. You know, it's like fishing.
Yeah.
And if you strategically know where you're going, it's like, oh, cool. Okay, boom. You know, I'll grab this one, because it's like, it's super familiar territory when you landed into that. So, I mean, I congratulate you all the time, because I know how hard it would be, and how most people would just be like, nah, I'm good. I'll just sit down. And that's, I think, why a lot of people stay, you know, where they're born or where they're raised, because it's so fucking hard, you know, and it's just a really hard thing, whether there's, you know, positive or negative family surrounding you. It's still a hard thing to do. You know, I'm in the process of doing the same thing, and my process is different than yours, but it's still a process, and nonetheless, and it's still hard. So, I mean, I think that's something you got to celebrate all the time, and carry with you, and use for motivation as you conquer these opportunities. But enough about that sentimental shit. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Well, when you're talking about wins and like small wins and stuff, yeah, I have my whiteboard here to the right in the office, and I have to add to it right now, but moved across the country, moved into Red Deer, got the first job locked in under 30 days, got 3 quotes in under 30 days. Kara and I are working as a team, and the family's settling in. So there's obviously a lot more to that, and like I appreciate you saying that, like how hard it is, because sometimes as a person and as a general contractor, to take the space for yourself and say that, I am winning, I am doing these things right, is impactful, to say the least.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we don't, like, I think a lot of, sometimes when we start gassing ourselves up, it feels like we're inflating our egos. We're jumping on ego, but it's not. It's not. It's
Yeah.
really like, we do hard shit every day. We deal with clients that like us, that hate us, that love us, that start with one, relationship, ends with a different relationship.
Yeah.
We're moving into a place where we have no relationships, no friendships, no connections, no people, no nothing. So, I mean, like, you did some really hard shit, and it's past that hardest point. It's going to get hard again. It's going to be different hard, but I
Yeah.
mean, you got through a really hard thing of massive uncertainty for 4,500 kilometers of journey. Like, most people would be sitting there in it's spooning in anxiety for 4,500 kilometers, and then they land there and like, hey, fuck, now what do we do?
Yeah.
because I know you were dealing with some struggle trying to find a place, and and then still the uncertainty of like where are you going to go work. So I
Yeah,
mean, I think that we are entitled to gas ourselves up,
for
and
sure.
I think you should gas yourself up every day. I think you should get a high five on the wall and smack that thing every day and be like, fuck yeah, we did it again. Like like you
Yeah,
do. It doesn't, I mean, your
I might
family
do that.
supports you. Your
Yeah,
family supports you, kids support you, but it's just different. Like you have to self-support yourself, because I think that's what really gives you the motivation to know, you know what, I did great yesterday. I know I did great yesterday. Nobody
yeah,
else needs to know I did great. I did great yesterday. So I'm going to use my great, empowerment that I gained from yesterday to move me to today. And I think that's, hidden inside of your journey, because you couldn't just do all this on your own. You're doing it with yourself and the people around you, but you're also self-supporting yourself to push yourself forward. So I think you did great, man. And I congratulate you all the time, every time I can.
yeah. I appreciate that. Even like little moments where like, Father's Day, like you're like, hey man, happy Father's Day. You're doing great. Appreciate you. Like those little things are like just very meaningful. So
Hmm.
yeah, thanks.
And it's easy. Like, I think that's what a lot of people forget. You're a client of mine in a roundabout way, right?
Mhm.
And your clients are clients of yours. The thing that everybody wants is to be personal. They don't want to feel like they're number one. And so as long as everyone can make that transaction happen within the transaction, people will line up to work with you. That's just natural. It doesn't matter if you're consulting, renovating, building. Give your clients a one of a lifetime experience, and
Mhm.
they will scream from the rafters about what that's done for them. So that's why I do that for you, because it's I care about you on one hand, but it's also just a part of my process that I got to make sure that I stand there with you through the
Yeah.
shit. So that's what that journey looks like. And I know that you do the same thing for your customers. And so, you know,
Mhm.
it's translated very well to you. But podcast is called Onsite. You've got a project that you're working on. You touched a little
Mhm.
bit about that. So it's a basement remodel, probably doing a lot of the work yourself versus subbing things out, but probably subbing out a couple things. So tell us a little bit about what that project is, and then if there's any other glimpse of another opportunity or another project that might be coming down the pipeline.
Okay, so yeah, this is a basement renovation that the homeowner's, the wife's father, was a general contractor in British Columbia. So he came in, did the installation, framing, and then the husband and his dad did the boarding, and then like maybe a few areas that were mudded. So it's essentially mud and tape, and then there was some new board on some other areas. Making some shelf areas because she's also a business owner, and she does all kinds of like mugs and cards and all of the other aspects of business that like you and I would use to promote ourselves.
Okay,
So
like
I'm
she's
making,
like a promotional crafter, kind
yeah,
of.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
and which makes the job a lot more fun because we get to have some like business conversations and stuff too, which is great and develop on that level too. Yeah, we went through a change order already to put down a subfloor. Yeah, and then essentially we're taking it to full finish with a fully tiled shower area with a heated floor system, and there's probably going to be a few other changes along the way they're chatting, but I really like basements because it's cold in the summertime. Yes, I'm not going to lie, but it can get really hot here. So I'm grateful to be in a basement. That's nice and cool. And I get to learn a lot about the industry because she's so well connected with within Red Deer that she has a lot of different views on some other contractors or builders in the area. So that's helping me to just be like, oh, well, like we can just crush that and be very beneficial to the community and our quality and standards and execution of projects. And I'm really looking forward to showcasing this because they've picked some great products to, like the flooring's really nice. Still deciding on tile. And then project in the pipeline is another bathroom renovation in Sylvan Lake through a referral through this client. And then there's that. And then there's a potential to do five framing out of five basements for a fiveplex. And that's all because I bought a lawnmower from a lady who works for a builder. So I have to connect with her today and see where that's landing because the builder was on holidays. So yeah, there's and then there's a couple more estimates that I've sent out too. So
And you're just getting started too. Like you're not even really marketing your business right now.
no,
You're just kind of getting positioned there, and it's great that you've got. Sounds like you got a really good first customer. That can really help you get set up. So obviously, it's goes without saying, but exceed expectations on that one,
yeah,
and over deliver. I wouldn't look at the little things. The little things matter in
mhm,
communication to people all the time. So I mean, that's
yeah,
awesome, man. I'm really happy for you and your family that you get this new experience in Red Deer. It's not that far from where I am right now, and we haven't been able to connect face to face, but that day's coming for
yeah,
sure. So now you got two little ones. I know of some other people that have moved from across the world, and their kids. I think they were around the same age as your kids. And when I asked them, I was like, "Hey, like, what was the how are the kids?" And they're like, well, they were pretty upset for the first couple months. There were some tears and some of
mhm,
that stuff. And I miss this friend or I miss that friend. And then once they start meeting new people, it's like, oh, all's forgotten. Kids heal really quickly, and you're doing this to benefit them. Like Alberta's such a freaking nice place. There's so
it is.
much to do. You pick like you're like smack dab in the middle of one of the great locations. It's like what is it, an hour and a half to Calgary, hour and a half to Edmonton, maybe something
Yep,
around that.
yep,
You can go, I think you go up to Jasper as well, that direction. Sylvan's 20 minutes away from you, one of the most popular lakes in Alberta.
yep,
Banff would be like a 2.5 hour drive.
yeah. We're going
Um,
to go there this weekend. So
Yeah, I mean, like all of that gives me goosebumps for a family to be able to experience, and I think a lot of people don't understand, like it's not just the place, the people, but it's also the real estate and what's connected to it. Like you just get to experience so much greatness, and with Alberta's just positive movement, and their growth and all the things that are happening in construction, this is one of the
mhm,
best places to live in Canada.
it is, yeah.
So, what are the kids like right now?
So Emmett, he's very adamant about sharing. He's 5.5. So the first, yeah, like the trip was a really good experience because now when we go for a drive, it's like, oh, we're gonna drive 2 hours. Oh, no big deal. Like we drove for friggin' days. So that's a benefit. He still says like he misses his forever friends and stuff. Like he did junior kindergarten, so he was in full day school, and he has a like phenomenal memory. So yeah, he'll remember like his friends don't like cheese, so like he doesn't like cheese. I don't know, just random stuff. And but he's adjusting. We actually put him in a day camp this week with the Y to meet some friends and just like get out of the house and do some of that. The house wasn't the most ideal, like with like carpet everywhere and stuff. So like he's just like, I hate these carpets and I hate this and I hate that. And but we remind him like when we go out to all the parks, like Red Deer has like so many freaking parks. Like it seems like every block has one. So it's like, let's go to this one, let's go to that one. So we remind him of like that's why we moved here. There's nature everywhere, all these parks. We get to go to the mountains. We went to the mountains when we were in the hotel on Father's Day, so that was a really cool experience for them. We got to go hike to a waterfall. And then Jackson's 2.5, and he's adjusted pretty well. And like he doesn't really know any different. So like this was the
Mhm.
best time to move for them rather than like be teenagers or even a little bit older when they've made some friends in that. So yeah, it's definitely we calculated it, and from a developmental stage for them, like it's great now to be here. And when we go to the mountains on the weekends, they're going to be even more blown away because of the views and
Yeah,
all of that stuff. So when he talks about,
they've never been there.
well, we went to it's called Nordeg. It was like by Rocky Mountain House. It's kind of the smaller end of the mountains, I guess. It's still pretty massive, but yeah, we went there, and then we're gonna go to Canmore, potentially Banff on Saturday, and then
Mm,
we just remind them that like, dude, like this is why we came here. Like we're 2 hours away from the most beautiful thing on earth. So yeah, and we found a school for them. It's a private school, but to be ambitious and thoughtful is like they're both going to the same place. yes, it's going to cost more, but also like my wife going back to work and some of those other aspects. It's like we're not running across the city. Yes, it's only 20 minutes and whatnot, but like dropping one off here, one off there, and then like because time's valuable, and we just were like, you know what, let's just pay. It's like roughly $1,000 a month for both of them, but they're both full days. They both get full education, and it's a good private school where they get to learn about the proper things in that system.
Oh, that's good. That sounds great.
Yeah,
Go to Banff.
go
Canmore's
to bed.
great.
Yeah.
It's 20 minutes away. Just it's another
Okay.
20 minutes. Just go
Yeah.
straight to Banff. You
Okay.
know, Canmore's great. They've got the Great Canadian Bagel. It's delicious. I mean, that's where I would stop if I was going through there. But
Okay.
if your kids have not been to Banff, go to
Yeah.
Banff, park the car, and walk Main Street. Go up one side, go down the other. You could do that for the entire day, and that would be one experience. You can also go. There's a pathway along the river that you can
Yeah.
go for a long way, a little bit of a hike, and you can actually the water's pretty shallow. You can kind of like if you had some wet shoes or something, you could walk in it down at
Okay.
the end of it. So there's a little bit of a waterfall there. Pretty cool experience. So I would spend the day in Banff
Okay.
if you've never been there, and
Yeah.
grab a map, tour around, walk it, stop in, get a candy apple, that kind of stuff. Rot the teeth a
Okay.
little bit. It's good for you.
Okay. Cool. Yeah,
That's
we'll do that.
that's my recommendation. But regardless, it is one of the most beautiful places on earth, and you guys are you're gonna enjoy it regardless, and you'll probably make it a regular occurrence for sure. This has been it's been a great conversation just
Mhm.
about the journey. I think a lot of people don't really celebrate the wins and the victories, and you've had a lot of wins and victories. And the cool thing about your family is like they're going to experience this for the rest of their life as well. And one of the things that stood out for this whole conversation is that you took action. And I think a lot of people fail in business to take action. They sit there and procrastinate for too freaking long, and by the time they've thought about doing something, it's already too late. From the moment like when we first started working together, there was no discussion about moving to Alberta or moving, and
Yeah.
then it happened, and then you moved forward and you progressed, and now you're there, and it's because you took action. And one of the things that your kids will learn through this process, they probably saw the struggle, they probably saw the pain, but
Mhm.
they saw that you never quit. They saw that you kept going. They saw that you did something hard.
Yeah.
And so as long as they're reminded that, you know what, you guys can do the same thing. You can do hard shit too. All you got to do is just take action. And I think, biggest thing in life is that most people struggle with doing that one thing. And you did a lot of those one things, taking a lot of different actions. You're taking action this weekend, taking your family, to one of the nicest places in Canada. Some people have lived here their entire life and they haven't done it,
Yeah.
because it seems a little bit hard. So it's scary, and or whatever the excuses are. Everyone has an excuse about why they can't do something, and you probably did too. But instead of allowing those excuses to say, "Hey, no, you know what, you're not going to move to Alberta. We're going to stop you right here." You're like, "No, I'm going," and you took
Yep.
action and you move forward. So I mean, I hats off to you for doing that, and you're just getting started. So I'm excited to be able to work with you and call you a friend and a person we get to work with. Is there anything else you want to add to to this episode?
I forget the exact quote, but essentially, like what you're saying about change is like, I'll just say this is that, so my family of origin, I haven't talked to them in almost 2 years. And something they said was that they're never going to change. And that was a red flag in terms of like our family growing and changing and like, maybe having expectations of like some roles in that. But like, I was like, no, screw that. Like, I am not participating in this. I am changing. I am of a growth mindset. And you need to do that in business. Maybe, I don't know, for example, maybe you're good at bathrooms. You think you're good at bathrooms, but like, you actually suck. So change and like, go do something else more in your niche that you want to do rather than something that you may think you're good at. I believe personally that we all know what we're good at and that we need to pursue that to its full extent so that you have a purpose and you fulfill your purpose here. We're only here for a short time. So,
Yeah,
I think
we
that's it.
literally are only here for a short time. We have to fulfill, a greater purpose, and that's why I'm coaching contractors. It's
Hmm.
I've done a lot of different things in my life as well, but the fulfillment from working with people like yourself, and helping see this success is like it's unbelievable for me, to experience. I know you have to experience your own side of it, but I get to experience it as well. So if anybody is in Red Deer or close to Red Deer, Sylvan Lake, there's a bunch of little places around that, and they're looking for a general contractor. I would vouch for Dustin. He's an incredible guy. He's responsible, and he's reliable, and he answers his phone, because that's the number one thing that contractors suck at, is they don't
Yeah.
answer their phone. So if you want to connect with Dustin, Dustin, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, and we're trying to figure out TikTok. So let's work on Instagram first, and then we'll go from there.
All right, you can hit Dustin up right here, and you can connect with him. Dustin, it's Cook's Contracting Red Deer, so you can find him right there, and he will happily help you with whatever project you may have. Dustin, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. That is all for today, everyone. Again, we have no sponsors. We don't get paid for this shit. So the only way we can grow this show, if you enjoyed it, is you got to share the show. So share it on your platform, whatever your platform may be. Tag us, do whatever you can. But we really appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to our next episode. Thank you so much, Dustin. And thank you, everyone that supports this podcast. We'll see y'all next week.
Thanks.